They're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have a couple of quick updates to share about Congressman Matt Gaetz. So, as you guys all know, the House Ethics Committee is investigating him for potential crimes. It includes paying young women for sex, among them a 17-year-old girl. So the Ethics Committee just issued a subpoena for documents from a somewhat related civil lawsuit, which I've mentioned before. So this was the lawsuit that was brought by an old friend of Matt Gaetz. It's a Florida political operative who filed this lawsuit. His name is Chris Dorworth. So Dorworth had also been accused of having sex with this 17-year-old, and as a result, he sued her. He sued several other people for defamation. He recently dropped that lawsuit, though, but the Ethics Committee is hoping that they can obtain the witness depositions and various other documents that could help them with their investigation. So evidently, Dorworth's lawsuit ended up yielding some, pretty interesting and some very significant testimony. So specifically from the then 17-year-old, also a witness who spoke with the Department of Justice about Gaetz, an ex-girlfriend of Matt Gaetz, and also Dorworth himself. So Gaetz was supposed to testify in that case. He was supposed to sit for a deposition, but Dorworth dropped the lawsuit before that happened. Now, was that a coincidence? I don't know. But, Gaetz's other longtime friend and his accused accomplice, Joel Greenberg, is currently serving an 11-year sentence for sex trafficking of that minor. Other crimes as well, but he's the one who initially implicated Gaetz. So ABC News had reached out to Greenberg's attorney for comment on this, and they asked if, is he going to be willing to testify in front of the Ethics Committee? His attorney is a pretty funny guy. His response was basically Dr. Seuss. So he said, quote, "While I am reluctant to comment on a pending congressional investigation, Joel Greenberg's position remains the same. He will fully cooperate with all congressional inquiries, whether by subpoena or not, and regardless of whether the cooperation occurs in the rain or on a train, with a fox or in a box. Yes, Mr. Greenberg will cooperate here or there. He will cooperate anywhere." So, good news, I guess. Anyway. And now for the bad news. Unfortunately, I do have some bad news on this. It could be temporary, but we'll see. So I had mentioned there was a complaint filed with the Florida bar because of some information that came out related to this Dorworth case. Well, the Florida bar has dismissed that complaint that was filed against Gaetz. And like I said, I mentioned this before, there was a Florida activist, he filed this complaint, he was asking them to revoke Gaetz' law license. Unbelievable that this guy is an attorney. I mean, I should remind you too, he's had multiple DUIs. Daddy gets him out of trouble every frickin' time, so he's just a spoiled brat. But the state bar said essentially that in order for them to discipline Gaetz, there would have to be a court finding that he committed a crime. So I guess if that ever happens, then they'll disbar him or at least investigate it. Yeah. Now, how true that is, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they make their own rules. It's, Margaritaville, it's Florida. But consider the fact that Rudy Giuliani has been disbarred in 2 states based on his involvement with Donald Trump's attempted coup. I mean, he's been indicted, but he hasn't been found guilty yet. So, obviously New York and DC do things differently and take this more seriously. So that's their story and they're sticking to it. So we'll see what happens with the subpoena. We'll see what happens with testimony. I'm really hoping that, maybe next year, we'll see. If the Republicans retain their control of the House, nothing's going to happen. Gaetz is not going anywhere. If Democrats can pull off a majority, then we might see something. But it's really up in the air. It's looking better for Democrats than it is for Republicans in the House. Different story in the Senate. Anyway, I'll let you know when I hear more. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, please subscribe if you have not. If you can donate, truly appreciate it. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.